like continue more. They're not trying to push things as crazily, so we'll see.
So, Mint then rounding out this FlipSid roster with Capital. Alongside him, Thermite, Ash, Buck, and Blackbeard. Nothing too crazy surprising, especially when attacking the basement here on Clubhouse, because of the damage that Buck can do in this corridor and inside the kitchen and help control that B side, control the armory, and then the extra grenades, the Capital, just everything he has.
Yeah.
Just control.
I feel like the lineup on the attackers is pretty much no reason to change it. Like, that is like the best lineup to attack this, unless you need to do something different, like bringing a Thatcher. Otherwise, that's who you want to bring. The defenders, however, choosing to bring Doc, which is something that works sometimes. Still, I'm not sure it's a better choice than, say, Valkyrie in this case, because having cameras is really useful in a situation where there's lots of different places to push from. So knowing who's pushing where, like, say, for example, having a camera in garage, knowing someone's going to push that utility tunnel. Things like that can really pay off. But I think these guys tend to stick in really defensive positions and only come out when they need to and make those attacks. So I think they're more just waiting till everyone gets in sight, in which case they don't need the cameras as much.
Yeah, so Hot and Cold, very aggressively, to this black construction tunnel. Is going to crack open the wall with one thermite charge. So while they'll probably push in there slowly later on, whoever's going through there will drone for quite a while to begin with. Blackbeard maybe, or some cases Capital. Yeah, Blackbeard going to go from Gary to the Capital, probably going to go through that tunnel. Given those 2 points of pressure already, Hot and Cold will then head up towards the stairs and look and think about where he wants to use his second charge. Bar, Kitchen, we've seen some different ideas, Kitchen being one of them earlier to date. But downstairs, FlipSid, well, Snake is playing, sorry, FlipSid. Saw the drone roll over a player's head as I just called out his name. Orgless downstairs, leaving Snake tucked in this corner of construction tunnel with a shotgun. There is that second thermite charge in the blue dropper. That helps give Blackbeard movement, helps him give freedom of play down towards that blue tunnel, and will help him control the backside of B, help him control armory through there.
A lot of drones being sacrificed to help Pojo Man here. Something similar to what we saw Continuum doing, where they're just sacrificing drone after drone to really try and make that push down that tunnel.
Yeah, they do all the way around, so he spawned up one end and now comes down construction. Hot and Cold, after using his thermal charge, is actually going to be the man to push through the blue utility tunnel. So Snake currently holding off construction. Mint is in there with Pojo, and they're using the smoke grenades to keep him back. King George is above blue and is droning for Hot and Cold, but K9 is currently firing through that tiny little pixel peak in towards Thermite, who will come back and push there, but he needs to make sure he times it well with his team, and while they can't come through construction, he has to wait. Jarvis picks up the first kill though onto Hot and Cold. He picks it up through the hole from blue in towards, from armory in towards blue, and he does take his head clean off as he peeks around one more corner. With a minute left on the clock, they've got to make this push. They're coming through construction. Snake is taken out by the fireball, but Jarvis will go down himself as he peeks around with the next one. Mint though cannot get through his own fire or through, that's awkward, or through the barbed wire in time to finish Jarvis off. Pojo Man coming on down. He does get an angle onto a teammate, but can't go for it. Easy peasy, making these shots down through the floor of Kitchen to take Jarvis is down, Jaeger out. King George has dropped into blue and pushes in to take out Slash inside the church room. Avian now running around over by Armory. K9 then picks up the kill onto Mint inside the tunnel before getting taken out by Pojo Man. It's now 3v1 and Avian is the last man standing. He's watching the construction tunnel for one more player. It's Pojo Man's Blackbeard though. He's got his side on covered, but with 20 seconds on the clock, King George has the diffuser and can get inside Church to plant it. There it is. Pojo does not have to step himself out now. Avian's got to expose himself. Turns his back to the tunnel, peeks on around to pre-fire it. Does aim at head height, but a Blackbeard don't care about head height. And gets the kill with ease. Nice, good round from FlipSid.
Yeah, it started off a little rough, that kill Jarvis got onto Thermite back there. Kind of taking a little pressure off, but the pressure just came back on. You had someone replace him in utility tunnel with King George. Then you had two people coming down that construction tunnel, just keeping up pressure that whole time, I think is what won them that round. Also a little aggressive play, Jarvis trying to run into that tunnel. Both people just trying to rush that Blackbeard, not working out. They really needed to bait him out, but at the same time, I think they were feeling a little pressured from him. And I think that's what ultimately cost them the round. And that's my favorite kind of attack on them. It was really just pressure, pressure, pressure from as many points as possible and try and keep yourself from getting taken out there. It was interesting to have Capito pushing with Blackbeard down the tunnel instead of using the utility tunnel drop, for examples, where we see him a lot of the time. But in this case, it worked out really well. You saw the fire being used to kind of keep people from rushing Blackbeard, the rushes themselves not working out, and just a lot of great shots going down. Him using kind of Blackbeard as a cover, and Blackbeard doing a lot of damage as well.
Time for FlipSid to defend downstairs. Now, the attack they just used was in many ways facilitated, and it worked because Orgless just kept peeking into their choke point, just peeking into the FlipSid iron sights. Looking down through construction tunnel, looking in towards blue as Ash rushed on through into church, but let's see if FlipSid can play a little bit more disciplined. Wait and let the attackers come into them, step into their sights. They're the defenders after all.
Yeah, and they are bringing the Valkyrie instead of the Dock, so they're going to have a little more intel on where people are coming from. The attacker lineup the same, so pretty much the only thing that's changed is bringing the Valkyrie this time. And we do have the batteries, of course, that they can put on that church wall, which is probably what we'll see being done. Not a lot of use putting them on here if you could just easily take them out.
She's sitting here in the tunnel now, waiting to take out the drone that's going to come in if it comes in, so that she can stay hidden and so that they can keep an eye on what's coming down that tunnel. Thermite charge is going to start to blow before the drone actually comes in, so she doesn't have a chance to kill it off. Falls back, and while Mint's here with, trying to put down that Jaeger system safely.
Yeah, they're playing this
drone is
aggressive.
right on the corner. Now it comes in around, she will kill it off. Trophy system's down, barbed wire is there, and she's holding this very aggressively, but now they know it. Blackbeard looking to edge his way forward. The trophy system's going to be taken out, but they've already seen it get placed. Capital's right up front, in fact, and the Bolt's going to go out behind her. King George still safe.
I like how that trapped her
Hiding
there.
the laser as well. Pulls the C4 just to tease them. Peeks on around with the shotgun in tow. Does peek out and get the one and the double before the grenade goes off. It will only down her as well, so they might be able to pick this one back up. She crawls back to safety while Mint is still watching, and they're going to go for their quick revive and get away with it. Slash is miles away and now droning inside. Jarvis is looking for the fight on the tunnel. Has to pick up the diffuser, but she's back standing and safe. King George hiding the laser once again, keeping himself around the corner. The diffuser's been picked up, and Jarvis will edge his way cautiously back and out and makes it to safety. But with two pivotal operators dead, Capital and Blackbeard, this Orgless attack is going to crumble.
I like how they really countered their own push. Like the Capito Blackbeard worked out great for FlipSid, worked really poorly for Orgless.
He also did it with absolutely no pressure coming from any other part of the map, so there was nothing to pull her back, nothing to keep her occupied or to scare her about being pushed in the back herself. They tried to go all in on someone they spotted with a drone.
Yeah, I do like that the Capito kind of the fire trapped her in the tunnel there, but with a shotgun, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No. And Blackbeard didn't need to land any of the shots required to pick up the kill himself, but Slash picks up one kill and a second one as he pushes down blue tunnel now and immediately evens it out. Two quick kills with the Valkyrie herself being down. Mint now peeks in towards the tunnel himself. Both players miss a lot of shots here. Mint tagged up in the head again. Slash now on 1 HP is cautious of him coming around towards gold. Edges forward towards the barbed wire as Jarvis' drone is looking towards armory again. Mint still tucked in behind those boxes, keeping his head down. Slash cannot come any further forward as he's aware of Pojo Man inside church, and Hot and Cold is in there too, but with 20 seconds on the clock, they've got to do something soon. Jarvis is sprinting all the way around. Mint stands up but gets away to safety. Jarvis coming down the tunnel with K9. Going to look in towards the right-hand side. Pojo Man firing his SMG-11 through from church towards construction. In he goes, crouched and standing. Mint's tucked in the corner. Misses the shots again, but Hot and Cold will get Slash out of blue. Pistols out now. More and more missed shots from K9 now. And with the Hot and Cold push on into Armory, Jarvis is going to be easily knifed as everyone forgot how to shoot.
Yeah, there was so many missed shots. Mint living through that thermite push and then living through that push as well. Just that ultimately cost him. Slash almost kind of saved the round for them there by getting those 2 kills, kind of evening it out. But in that position, they're just not landing those shots cost them dearly. I mean, that push into Armory could have been great. Got that kill on Mint, would have established some control. You have Slash come help push it as well. Then it would have been all on the shotgun, but just did not work out.
So 2-0 up then for FlipSid Tactics as they head back onto an attack round. This time they are still attacking that basement, having won it last time over. Orgless have no reason to move, but they do have reason to play a little bit differently on the defense. Maybe give up a little bit less control of blue perhaps, or something else.
Yeah, they are going to be playing the same defensive setup. The question is FlipSid going to go with the same attack? Now, FlipSid showed them how to counter it. They said, just do it like this. Just get in there with a shotgun, get in our face, and stop us early before we can get too far down the tunnel and push you out. But at the same time, that might not work when they're kind of aware of it. You know, I've said it before, teams defend against their own strats, and we saw FlipSid do that very eloquently.
No, I would like to see, and I know it's a crazy out there play, but this is, I mean, as you say, Orgless already going to finals. This is the time to do it. Sticking a rumor up in cash room.
Absolutely.
Because nothing about the FlipSid attack checked for it. And they were in, and they were very quick towards blue and towards construction tunnel. didn't make sense of that situation, didn't drone or look for rumors. They didn't really seem to care, and they're doing a similar thing again.
Yeah, especially when you're FlipSid and you know you scrim these guys all the time and you don't expect it. That's definitely the time to do it. Stick someone like Avian up there with the Bandit.
See, Mint is droning up here. Does he actually check fully? Does he go all the way he needs? He does check the majority of it, so they are there and sure.
Good on them.
But still, maybe not cash room specifically, but still, Romer hiding upstairs. There's plenty of spots that the drones don't have time to cover, and if their entire attack is going to come from construction and garage again, and Romer's tapping him in the back from there, or even just a late rotate up the front through bar, could really damage that. There's no harm in trying. A little bit more conventional though. Hot and Cold once again blowing the blue tunnel. They are droning Pojoman and Mint through construction. That's already opened up. Heading their way through there.
Should be a pretty similar push. Snake doing basically the same thing again though. This just did not work out last time. Blowing a smoke way too early.
Yeah, blowing it just on the drone this time. He is using it to peek though actually, so maybe he was going for a bit of the client side action, giving himself a bit of extra chance or hoping for the RNG to work his favor or something. He's doing similar again, smoking and peeking, smoking and peeking.
That's an interesting different strat, different use of the smoke grenades.
Again, it's coming back to the same reason they lost the first round, right? It was unnecessarily peeking into these angles that he doesn't need to.
The ADS helping him stay alive though.
K9 though does get the kill onto Hot and Cold inside blue. Pojoman peeking down as the drone will put forward. Jarvis picked up a kill elsewhere. Pojo does pre-fire around the corner, but nowhere actually at Snake. Is all hitting the rocks in front of him. Snake pushing aggressively forward now, and he's expected to be further back, but the trophy system, how he is still standing, I do not know.
And that was lucky for him.
Trophy system in front of his face is killed off, but he only takes 5 damage. Does get back, and while he kills off the drone with a bit of help from K9, he's still holding this tunnel entrance with that shotgun in tow. Gets healed up. Jarvis does not have the same luxury until now. There it is. Back up to full health. Looking to aggressively push on into T's, but Avian is taken out from Church by that aggressive poke from King George again. He's dropped down through the dropper and is looking in towards the church itself. Jarvis watching the tunnel with Snake. K9 still watching up towards blue, and it's actually his fault that Avian is dead as he let Ash drop in, but Ash gets in and is now downed. Mint's dropped to go and join her inside blue, and his take out Slash, who's the one that did the downing on Ash. They're going to get her up, but with 20 seconds on the clock, they've got to make this move fast. Jarvis is the man watching in towards blue to Church, and he goes down, but he just traded straight back as Kanan gets the kill onto Pojoman. Ash is picked off again as Snake comes in with his shotgun, and Mint only alive alone with his Capital boats in tow. He has got to plant, and he just runs straight out of time. And with a rather anticlimactic end, Orgless grab themselves around.
I know it didn't really do a lot in terms of kills, but just all that dancing in the tunnel that time really burnt up a lot of their time, because I think part of the reason it worked last time was it put a lot of pressure on. But in this case, just because K9 and Snake were dealing with it and the rest of the guys felt free to defend the rest of it, that pressure didn't materialize, and they were able to just keep a hold of it, just keep delaying them from getting in there. And that ultimately cost them the round because they just didn't have the manpower once they actually started to break in and got into church. But we will see a little bit of a different attack this time as Slash is bringing out that Montaigne. Might go for that Kennels push that we've seen before, pushing to try and defend a plant onto that stock room.
Yeah, the beauty of this bomb site is that there are so many different ways, so many different tactics that not anyone has mastered yet. It is far easier to attack than that basement, which has been going pretty well for FlipSid till that last one.
Yeah, this could be a good round for Orgless to pick up that point, change things up a little bit.
Yeah, level it back out.
Yeah, so they are going to do something interesting at least.
They do have that Montaigne. As far as C4 goes on defense, we've got 1, 2 still in tow. We also have smoke grenades on Hot and Cold, so he could be in there. Shotgun, barbed wire, and smoke grenades are brilliant for holding this Kennel's door.
Yeah, we usually see Valkyrie playing in there with a shotgun, but they could definitely play a 2-man in there if they have some kind of knowledge that a push is coming. Maybe if they can keep control of cash room, they can also try and do some attack from above if they have a way out. But it is one of the situations where they kind of have to blow a hole to do that. Makes it a little bit harder to come out.
So Mint is running upstairs. He has got a nice hole there. Control, rotate. Not a whole lot of escapes though once they find out he's in there.
No, this is mostly defensive, not an aggressive push. King George is starting out good.
Yeah, less than ideal.
That's going to help.
How in the world did that happen? I think he must have been chasing a drone or something. takes out Pojo, man. That's one of the two C4s down then already.
Yeah.
He's now
That's
solo
now
holding
Montaigne.
this strip club. Now Montaigne is reaching the door, and King George completely whiffs.
Well, there goes more of the
His
C4.
trying to kill him. Avian shooting the door open, and that's an easy shot for King George as soon as that head became shown.
Yeah, I think he almost got him like mid-animation. It's unfortunate.
Well, then he falls back into the site. But I'll take a mute trade for a Blackbeard, to be fair.
Yeah, it was worth
You're
it.
going to have to team kill anyone and then trade a kill. That's a good combo to go with.
If they could trade the Montaigne, then this would really be good too. Because you know that's going to be an important part of the strat.
Pretty sure that grenade from Snake came back outside again as well. But it goes on down as Jarvis picks up an aggressive kill from the bottom floor and gets dropped on by Hot and Cold. Nice reaction there from FlipSid Tactics, losing one man to a basement push on this staircase. Quickly react by dropping in from bar and coming up behind that dropper, especially while she's on the reload. Mint is also down here in the basement at the moment. He's now coming up to join the staircase as King George goes up to the pool table, drops aggressively in on towards the shield, but does lose that trade. Meanwhile, Mint pushes up from the staircase underneath, and Snake was already covering that angle. They knew they had almost all of the defenders locked downstairs, except that Valkyrie, and she just jumped on top of Montaigne to hand over that kill.
Yeah, we didn't really get to see a lot of what the Montaigne strat was. It looked like they wanted to use it to push and hold that strip club door to keep any flanks from coming around a strip club, potentially. But their Blackbeard was already dead, so we didn't get to see any kind of typical strip club push attack on the pool table combined with a Montaigne. But in that case, with Blackbeard dead, it was just like, well, I guess we'll just push and kill everyone. And that they did.
So, gets it back to a 2-round-on-2 scoreline. A bit of an interesting final few seconds, that FlipSid defense, but they tried something different. They tried something surprising, and I think they caught themselves by surprise as much as they did Orgless.
Yeah.
It's now time for Orgless to go upstairs, having held that last bomb site thanks to the timer running down. See what they have up their sleeve. They're not dealing with a Montaigne. They don't need as many C4s, and well, they only have the one. Yep, barbed wire on Bandit, which is a lot more standard these days.
They are definitely considering a strip club push as they have a lot of drones over in that area. Not so much on the B side, which makes me think they're not as interested in pushing there, although they are seeing some reinforcements go up that could make them consider a different attack. Their attacker lineup pretty much could go either way. So it's a situation where they can decide on the fly, which is the nice thing about attacking the bar here. Again, it is a very attacker-sided bomb spot, as we just saw.
Slash heading out to throw a camera up above the kennel spawn. Lots of players still all over there as they're dropping down barbed wire and finish off the last couple of seconds of their setup over towards strip. While they have reinforced a little bit, they're not playing anyone too aggressively in until an Avian gets there.
Yeah, it looks like they switched their spawns over to the kennel side, so they think they're going for that B push now.
Over here, Pojo Man droning on in this way too. A few more as the main gate, still droning their way aggressively in. Checking around garage, checking around the lounge area and looking what's waiting for them. Easy continues the drone as well, Pojo Man heads towards the garage door. Meanwhile, upstairs in cash is Jarvis, and he's already got a little bit of a wiggle on as the trapdoor above his head has been opened up.
He's definitely hoping someone's going to peek aggressively, and that might... Oh, that got close there.
Still looking, waiting, watching for what's going on outside thanks to this beautiful camera.
Definitely an aggressive positioning by a lot of these guys right close to the doors, knowing that there's a B push potentially coming.
Yeah, Slash has already taken a bit of damage here from the Ash peeking in their doorway, takes out her drone quickly and easily. They're already bringing Avian back across from the other side now too, in towards the bar. Heads upstairs towards master bedroom, could be using this to backstab later, has got to be aware. Got time as the attack here from FlipSid is taking its sweet time to gain momentum. Jarvis is taken out upstairs by Buck though. This is why they were waiting. They need to make sure they took him out, and into the trapdoor comes easy peasy now. He can get up on top of the table and start to crack holes in the floor.
Having some trouble doing so though.
Yeah, a little bit too far on the range for that one. Needs to get a bit closer to really keep that going.
This is not working out for him.
That should have made a hole by now. Okay.
Might be an impenetrable part.
That'll help. It's definitely not impenetrable. Slash tries to C4 him in return and just makes the hole for him.
Thanks.
Taking not a whole lot of damage as the angle's not quite there. Now his feet are exposed and easy peasy's going to punish him for it. Slash goes down. Pojo Man looking in towards bar. He's going to cover the cross from the other side, and K9's about to get spotted. He sees the barrel of the gun. He's waiting for the hands to come around the corner. Come on, K9, you want to move. Pojo Man's already waiting for you. You know you've got to come this way. You do pop off a couple of shots towards the door, but you can't land it on anyone. That is the diffuser. The hot and cold's got to get in through there, so he is smoking up. Covering it with smoke. K9 spraying aggressively. Pojo Man, meanwhile, still just holding the sight on that angle. Gets down to himself from elsewhere there, and now Avian back in Strip Club has to make a run all the way across the site. Pojo Man is there, and it's an easy shot despite Avian being ready for him, pre-aiming it, but through that Blackbeard shield it was never going to work. Pojo does get his kill ultimately after all that patience, and FlipSid continue to keep the lead.
I feel like a lot of that went down to Orgless's positioning being off. You saw Slash get picked off by having a bad position inside the stock room, and then you saw K9 having a bad position that exposed him due to his gun. There's just a lot of positions that were interesting for a B-side push, but ultimately had a lot of weaknesses that FlipSid just straight up took advantage of. So I imagine if they go to defend upstairs again, they're not going to want to do it the same way.
So, 3 rounds to 2, and now they can get back down into that basement, something which Orgless have had a bit of an issue attacking in their last attempt. Charging head first into a shotgun Valkyrie in a small space. It's one way of calling it an issue, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's not generally the advised idea, at the very least. We'll see if they can rethink that. They have already swapped it up by getting rid of Blackbeard completely for a shield recruit.
Interesting choice. We obviously saw that work out for Continuum, but I'm not sure if Avian's quite the shield player Young is, but I guess we'll see. But they might have a different idea with it, though. It might not be for a tunnel push as well. I suppose there are ways to use it to push the utility tunnel, as it's all about pushing these like straight long angles, but you open yourself to a lot of potential flanking from the holes in Church. So, it seems like a risky maneuver for a team that has not necessarily proven that shield play.
Oh. Jordan, once again, he's in that tunnel. This time he's got no barbed wire there to help him, but he's playing similarly. Also, we did see Mint come with a late trophy system last time over. Still has a C4, a barbed wire and 1 trophy, and a feeling that's going to go and join King George now. Jaeger, of course, one of the longest setup times at the start of a round out of all the operators, and this is what's causing the issue. He has to come further back to safely plant this. That might hurt King George a little bit later on. The drone's coming down, and King George does kill it off, but Snake, now that he's got that information, is rotating around. Avian is here to help him. He's going to smoke grenade down and through and take out the trophy system. King George ducks further back already to make sure he can hide from what's inevitably going to come next, and it is this bolt. King George is burning. He does edge forward and actually survives that one. The next one's a bit too close and will now just slow down the attack from Orgless. Next grenade comes up and over it, rolls a little way past, and King George, despite being seen, is safe. Shotgun's still there, and Avian is actually taking damage from the Jaeger here if he was firing a little bit further up. Jaeger did take 1 little bit of damage from that grenade in return, but King George sitting in the corner, he's got that C4 there, and he's primed it on the wall actually. Another grenade going to come out. They're going to try and airburst this. Just keeps ripping it, and there we go. King George gets down by that grenade. They're going to be unsure, but confident that that's gone. It's now on Mint to try and capitalize on them pushing forward for this. Next grenade comes down, bounces off the corner, and that's an easy kill there. But it does take 2 grenades and 2 Capital Firebolts to make happen. Mint falls a little bit further back and is now safely inside the armory, but while they were focusing all that attention on this tunnel, Slash has got in towards blue, and the rest of the map is being controlled by K9 and Jarvis. K9 once again here inside the kitchen. Jarvis droning around from the staircase and will push down the front in a moment, as Slash is now going to drone the rest of the construction tunnel and let that shield and Capital know what's waiting for them on the inside.
I like how he used this to really kind of counter that shotgun play.
Easy peasy. Does return the kill onto K9 up through the floor this time. K9 did it last time. They were ready for it. They were expecting it. And he punished him. Impact nades coming out towards the doorway to construction and doing no damage to Avian whatsoever. Just trying to soften him up. They obviously can't kill him no matter what. But he's trying to edge his way in, trying to smoke things out, trying to give themselves an opponent opening. Slash comes in through blue, does get 1 kill, but Avian will knife easy peasy, but he's already killed Snake from behind him, so it is a 1-for-1 trade. Pojo Man, the last defender standing as the plant's going down in armory. Slash is inside blue and is tagging Pojo up. He has to sprint away and he's going to rotate around to the front. This is where Jarvis was. He is not watching quite the right spot, but he will have the angle covered when Pojo has to try and come across. Meanwhile, Pojo is firing in towards the shield who's sitting on the diffusers. They know exactly where he is, and that's given Slash a chance to push a little bit more aggressively up behind him. Jarvis the same way. Pojo very much pinned in here now as he turns his back to the shield, and that gives Avian a chance to, I believe, actually unscope him with that. I was going to say yes, but gets him with a hip fire tap anyway.
I really wasn't too sure about the shield thing, but well played by Avian, just constant push, pressure through that construction tunnel, like waiting to the right moment to strike against Rook. That was, I really feel like between watching Continuum and watching Orgless here, the Blackbeard push with the Capito or the shield push with like a Capito or Blackbeard, it's strong, and we've seen the strength of it. We talked a little bit in previous games a while back about the strength of the Blackbeard push in construction tunnel. We just hadn't seen it a whole lot. Now after seeing the strength of it in these games, I feel like it's something we're going to see a lot more of, potentially in finals.
Yeah. So, Orgless back down into the basement defense. They're also now sitting on 3 rounds. It's staying very close now, as either of these two squads holding out their score, getting around for round, tit for tat. Slight changes, little bit of adjustments. You say that shield coming in instead of Blackbeard. Little things to get through the defense that they know is going to be waiting for them.
That's how it was at the end of Playday 7 last season. It was on Clubhouse first. It was a close game and ended on 5-6. FlipSid won that time. The question is, are we going to see a repeat of Season 7, or Season 2, Playday 7, or is this going to be a little bit different?
Finish up their setups. Jarvis putting 2 trophy systems here inside construction tunnel this time over, one further back than the other. More barbed wire in either step though. Snake rather will go in and hide inside that next time over. Both teams have been making that a big part of their push now.
I think it's time for FlipSid to change it up, but I guess they really want to pressure it. Or they could just be baiting that. That would be interesting.
Just giving them something to think about. They've used up 2 trophy systems now. They used up 2 barbed wire. Snake is sitting in there and is aggressively holding it. With all of that attention put on towards that tunnel, maybe they can use this for an access somewhere else. But if they try it, Slash has changed up his position, now playing more aggressively inside B. They are going to blow the trap above his head. He's repositioned from there in just a moment, as he is very exposed. If he can get this first shot off, he'll pull off a quick kill, but if not, he is more or less suiciding. Does realize it's a smarter play to move and does do so now. Well, Jarvis, Avian, K9 holding similar places to where they were before. Nades and charges going off from through holes, easy peasy. They're making holes above in the corridor and grenading down through the trap. It's Pojaman and mid decide. Actually, we should go back to our construction tunnel push.
Yeah, they blew it open for a reason, and the other stuff wasn't working maybe as well. So I like the feeling it out, but Avian though.
Yeah, Avian picks up 1 kill onto Hot and Cold, but again, he's already done his job, and that was Avian aggressively pushing into blue, trying to find something, trying to be mobile and be unpredictable, and it worked out for him.
That was the diffuser over there, though, and that is going to really hurt Pojaman and Mint if they're the ones to have to plant.
Here comes Pojo, he's edging forward, a couple of grenades have gone off, more smoke grenades coming out from Snake, and that is 2 out of 3 down, holding them back. And normally I'd say these are very early used, very wasted, but to be fair, there's already a minute on the clock. They're a long way from the bomb site itself, and the longer he can hold them in here, the better. He's not even the last line of defense now. That's where you normally see smoke. That's where you normally want these charges held for a long time, because that's the last line. But this is very aggressive smoke play, and it is working out for them. Drones coming through, they do see Snake leave, and that means Pojaman can move a little bit further forward. He's using this very, very tight peak, but his shield is taking a couple of shots here and there, and as those drones have been killed off, it's his turn to go on in. Doesn't get any information from that one. King George is looking to come through blue again. He's done this a couple of times, dropped, aggressively pushed, and got a kill into Church. Are they going to fall for it again, Orgless? He's done this 3 times on you now. Sorry, twice on you now. And if this would be the 3rd, he does turn his side on it, gets Slash and gets him again. He's right up and aggressive, but that was a very nice shot. Now Mint's going to drop on in. Does just about prone and survive the damage coming from K9 in towards Armory. K9 peeks in towards it and does a lot of damage to King George, but can't get the kill. Pojaman peeks in from construction to seal off K9, but Avian and Snake answer onto 1 each. Through the barbed wire comes King George, and Avian will take him out from behind, and that's Pojaman alone now. He turns himself side onto Jarvis. And prone inside Armory, Jarvis will take him out for another round and match point to Orgless.
One of the things I like there is that K9 standing in that one spot doesn't look like he's doing a whole lot, but he's just denying them drone after drone after drone. Because once they know the construction tunnel is clear, they're like, okay, we want to push in there, but we need to push in there in a way we can actually get some kills, or we're just going to be walking into our own deaths, because Blackbeard obviously can only shield from one side. So I like that K9 just became this line of defense, like this mute. Of course, he ended up in a firefight that he didn't want to be in, across the utility tunnel, and ultimately that cost him, distracted him, and then he got pushed from construction. So that was good timing on their part. Taking advantage of that and attacking him from the utility tunnel is what cost him his life. But he'd already done so much damage at that point that it was definitely... It looks like they're going to go for that same recruit shield strat.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah, I can't blame him. I mean, you see, like we talked about during the last game, when you're playing that shield just having that restraint to push just enough to not overextend, just constantly pushing them back and not exposing yourself to C4 and grenades and things like that. If you can pull that off, you don't necessarily need to be ADSing. You just need to work with your team.
I mean, the control that he gave, like, this is a very small space. It's very hard to flank it. It's very hard to throw a C4 at someone here without exposing yourself massively. And when you've got 3 smoke grenades and a normal grenade to get through all of the trophy systems that could be placed, they're only using 1, but if there's more, he can get through all of them. Then you've got Snake backing you up with firebolts from Capitao, more smokes from Capitao, and his own grenades. Like, that is a terrifying push through this tunnel. Now, if it's a Blackbeard that's got 3 flashbangs, okay, it's a similar thing, but he's far more exposed. That face shield is not a lot when you're up against a shotgun in such a small space.
And in theory,
now, a
you
full
can't run
recruit
both.
shield, tank shield, shotgun blasts all day.
Yeah, there's no damage to it. There's no health indicator. So, I mean, if you combine that all with a Blackbeard as well, I mean, there's a lot of people in one small space, but that could be deadly.
Could be, or that could be too many people and you're tripping over each other and team killing, but we'll see. They are bringing Avian in again. They've done it so far, and there's a pre-placed smoke grenade. I like this. Not even playing in there like Snake Jigs. King George is still the man in there, but using one more smoke just to help delay them a little bit more. Their aggression has got very hard to handle in there. They've been very quick. They know what to expect. They are not wasting any time, so that smoke just forces them to take a second thought.
Looks like they want to play it similar to how they did, but then just backed out. Said, you know what, this is not worth the amount of time it burned on us last time.
So, Avian and Snake push further forward as they know King George has now moved. The floor above is being opened up, hot and cold. They're making holes at the top of the church angle to see the trapdoor as well. Pojo Man helping out, spots to throw things through. More smoke grenades being used, this time by Avian and the firebolt there to help push King George further back. Now they know he's not in there, they'll push through it in a moment and come quickly up and forward. That's right on board with Snake, because he's going to be the man to look over the gap. Goes a grenade, takes out the barbed wire and the battery that's sitting on it. Easy Peasy's around to the left, so he's going to throw another one to try and kill him off, but Easy Peasy's low, not dead, and now he will drone. Avian going to stay there aggressively forward. Of course, he's completely safe and covered. He's just waiting to report information if he gets any. Edge it to the right while he reloads, because his shield's up on his left-hand side. Keeps himself covered a little way. And stays very still as Snake fires through the gap between him and the wall. Nobody there as FlipSid have all gone heavily in towards Armory, in towards the B site. They know they have to hold this. Remember, if Orgless even get one map, FlipSide's chances at land are gone. Easy peasy lemon squeezy taken out. K9 with that first frag of the game sets it off for a good pace for the Orgless attack. Firebolt in towards the backside of Armory. Grenades and C4 coming towards Avian and Snake. They both back away with no damage taken. 2 smoke grenades still here in Avian's hand. That goes one. The other one probably towards the doorway, but he's going to peek front first and gets a brilliant knife onto King George. No panic shots from him. Mint takes down Jarvis, and then we'll get down Snake as he's hiding behind the bomb. Doesn't even care about the shield, but a good shot from Avian will trade back Mint. It's now a 2v2. Hot and Cold is inside blue. Pojo Man is very close behind him. They're pushing aggressively in. K9 was going to be spotted on that camera as soon as he came in behind Avian. Avian not rushing the plant. He's got 30 seconds, and K9's going to come and back him up. Coming through the construction tunnel. That camera no longer can report that. Pojo Man needs to be careful not to stand up and expose himself here. He realizes he's in the tunnel. He goes prone peek, but the nade goes off right above his head at the perfect moment. K9 is low, but Avian has downed Pojo Man. He's going to go for the plant now. It comes to a 1v1 with K9 and Hot and Cold. While this goes through, Hot and Cold firing in towards tunnel. Now Avian stopped the plant, so it's back to a 2v1. Hot and Cold going to think about trying to revive Pojo Man, who's crawled into blue. Avian just sitting there watching the flank on top of the diffuser. K9 now holding tucked in the corner. Pojo Man gonna try and get up. K9 though sprays through. Avian actually managed to finish him off mid-revive. Hot and Cold now 1v2, firing into the tunnel towards that K9 buck, but K9 does not have to move. He's coming around and K9 gets the kill, just like that. Continuum go to land.
Wow, that was a tense play. Both of them sitting, just holding their positions, but it was a bad spot for Hot and Cold to be in. He was going to have to get lucky on a kill on K9 and try and use that to get Avian, but both of them just holding tight, exactly as they should be, that discipline. Avian with those shield plays, really being MVP. All those melee kills, essentially just pushing in, countering their aggression with further aggression.
How do you counter something that's got to get right up in your face, a shotgun, in a small space? Well, you tank her entire damage with a shield, and you smack her in the face.
Yeah.
There's nothing she can do about that. She can't throw a C4 at you because she's got to get so close that you'll either just shoot her down, or Snake will shoot her down while she's throwing it, or she risks blowing herself up with you, which in a 2-for-1 trade, not the worst C4 you could do, but super, super risky, and you're more likely to knife her when she does it. There was nothing that FlipSid seemed to know how to do to get rid of that shield. They had nothing.
No. And that whole game was all about those tunnel pushes, really. those construction tunnel pushes. That
from both teams.
Yeah, that is exactly like the kind of back and forth I like to see between these top teams. Like them both just coming up with these strats, trying to counter each other, trying to figure out how to do it. You saw so many different ways to try and do it, but ultimately...
I mean, let's have a quick look at the highlights. We've got highlights of that game while you talk about this too, like because it's all going to be based around this tunnel.
That was a killer play by George, though. That's where the Avians started to think, okay, we need to stop and do something about that shotgun. But I think, you know, Slash was underrated that game. He single-handedly, as Thermite, took that utility tunnel every time. And I think that's pivotal, like because the construction wouldn't have worked as well had he not had coverage from the other side.
Yeah, and I mean, the shotgun kills there from King George at the start too. Killing both of them before their nade went off to down him, huge thing for the round. If he'd just downed them both, they could have easily got revived up because of how exposed he was, how far up the tunnel he was. No one could have got there to trade those kills out before they crawled out to safety. So he needed to make sure he worked with those kills, and he committed to it. He went in, like, the grenade's here, it's a red marker, I'm not running away from this, I'm just going to make sure I finish them off before I go down. Sure enough, did it, and it did help win that first round. But then, yeah, they switched it up. So, right, well, how do we stop pushing into a shotgun? Even Blackbeard couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Recruit shield, and it worked beautifully twice in a row.
And I thought it was interesting seeing what Snake was trying to do with those smoke grenades because that was an atypical way to play smoke. Something new, some ideas that were a little bit different, trying to control that tunnel. But he was ultimately spraying into a Blackbeard shield most of the time. So, like, he was maybe going to get a lucky kill on Capito, but probably not going to get a lucky kill into Blackbeard. So ultimately, it was just a delay tactic, which is totally, you know, well within the wheelhouse of defenders to just try and stall as long as possible. So I thought that was a lot of interesting plays, not just the standard clubhouse we've seen every time. And I do imagine that was a meta-changing match.
So, time now to look at Chalet. Nothing can change from here on out.
Let's see a good game, though. Yes. I really hope to see a good game.
I honestly, that nothing can change from here on out kind of excites me.
Yeah.
I want to see what these guys do for fun. They both now know that this is up there.
Yeah,
Orgless cannot be shaken from top seed. FlipSid cannot go to LAN. They're stuck where they are now. They could get a point. They're not really going to mind too much. Maybe there's a little bit of prize money going into it. If they can get that little bit higher up the table, the way last season's broke down, that if you finished 3rd, 4th within your region, you did get a split of the prize money regardless of going to LAN or not. Do they care about that? Or would they rather have some fun?
I feel like FlipSid representing an org should put in their best effort.
They should. Oh,
because
of course they definitely should.
I just mean in terms of like that point still matters towards showing your organization that you're going to put, like, you don't just give up. And I think that's important because if they want to continue to support them the next season, you need to show that you're not willing to give up, that you're going to be there to put your best foot forward next season.
100%.
And I'd like to see that from them.
Oh yes, there's absolutely nothing in the world that should stop these players from playing their best game, even if they're going to LAN already, even if they're all locked in or can't go to LAN in 5th place. They should still be putting their best foot forward.
Yeah, Orgless on the other hand.
But at the same time, knowing what some of these players are like.
Especially Orgless.
I'm not going to write off something silly.
Yeah, I'm not going to expect the most serious play from Orgless side.
No.
I just hope to see it from FlipSid side and that, you know, hey, they punish Orgless for goofing around if they do. Just for interest, you know, just to try and play their best. So
5 rounds to 3 in favor of Orgless win the first map. Next map is going to be Chalet. We have lost one of the players from the lobby. Don't entirely know why. So we're going to run to a short commercial break and find out what that is and get him back in here as fast as possible to play out and finish this series. Once again, congratulations to Continuum for their spot at LAN. Them and Orgless will be going up to place possibly Junctis, depending on things go, but definitely Sisu as far as European is there. And well, we'll see you in a couple of moments' time with hopefully the second map. Towards kitchen, misses Ash by milliseconds. Look through the crawl hole, gets another beautiful flick. Now got 2 to find. The plant's still not actually down yet. 10 seconds. If he got that kill, that would have been the diffuser down. Thermite realizing now how lucky he is. Buck tagged up again. Switches to the shotgun. Comes through the crawl hole. Looks on the right-hand side. Stops the plant. 1 second to go. Lion, stay alive.
Wow.
Woo! They've got time. He knows he's going to be pinned in that corner. He can leap through his thermite hole and go down the staircase, but he will make noise. G-Boss, no, he's pinned in. Eunice knows he's pinned in. The wall is penetrable. Extrusion cannot land the shot he needs, and Eunice will get the defuse. So Penta take the lead. Still got to keep an eye on it. Edges forward. Panari picks up the staircase, gets 1 kill, but then gets traded straight back. Looks towards the backside, gets shoot takes. Now the last man's going to come through the corridor. He knows this. He's already got eyes on it. Renewals is coming around. He's crouched. He doesn't see the head, but boom! He was the flick. looking to take this to overtime. Bandit peeking around from blockers. Does get one. Peeks on out to find two. Oh, Zephyr's picked up 3. Deeper and deeper into the site. Benari coming around the corner, pre-fires it, Wilkie gets 1, peeks on out for the next one, takes Snooker down 2, Wilkie coming on in, Wilkie with another kill, 4 so far. Welcome back. We've got everyone in the lobby. Let's get this game going. Chalet, Orgless versus FlipSid. Our second deciding map. Is it going to be a 1-point split? Or are Orgless going to take all 3? Let's find out as we head on to, personally, my favorite map in the game.
Yeah, it's one that definitely really developed during Season 2 and a little bit during Season 1. It's been a map that a lot of the good teams compete on, much like Clubhouse has been, so this was a fitting map end for these two teams.
So,
surprisingly starting in the snowmobile garage, though.
yeah, FlipSid going for that defense first. We saw what we saw Youngtis do, go down for that wine cellar snowmobile first defense. Most people these days do go for kitchen trophy, and I think that might be a little bit of what the attacking squad here from Orgless are expecting, because Buck but no Capital is what you'd expect to see when going for that kitchen trophy bomb site.
Yeah,
I mean,
that does make sense.
I'd still expect to see Capital instead of Sledge, but
yeah.
I mean, Buck feels more along that master bedroom holes in floor sale. There's less holes to make here, and the Capital bolts can be big.
They did bring a Twitch, though, which also could have been replaced by Capital.
Also that's true.
Yeah. It's, we'll see how they use it.
North America is something which still likes to play batteries on the walls. They still like to do something. So I can see the Twitch around that area a little bit. I see the Twitch looking to deny batteries for a bit more, but yeah. Either way, we'll see. They now know it's downstairs in the wine cellar snowmobile. See what they've got up their sleeve and planned for it, and find out how they go with it. Yeah, there we go. Hot and Cold is sitting right next to the wall. He does have 2 batteries pre-placed and a trophy system there as well, just to help delay any kind of what-ifs that come through the drone hole. Meanwhile, upstairs, King George TV and Mint are still running around on the top floor.
Surprised to see that they're not impact nading that shelf out in the corner of the wine cellar. Something we've seen a lot lately, and I imagine that Rook probably has impact nades.
No, Rook has a shield.
Okay, well that's probably why then.
Yeah, Smoke has barbed wire, so that's why they have no impact nades at all. King George back down in the basement. He did destroy the trapdoors for Mint. That's what he went up for. He was making holes. He was making those rotates and making that safe movement for Mint, who has now been droned out and is going to need it. He heads towards the library. Here's one window get broken open. It is Snake cracking the library edge. And he's now unsure about if it's safe to go back down. K9's up on the balcony by office as well now. He's trying to be unpredictable, trying to be surprising, hiding these different corners. There's the window right next to him get opened up. Here's another drone. He's unaware there. He finds where it is. Kills it off and heads back down towards the staircase as K9 starts to spray on over it. Twitch drone comes down, takes it out, Slash peeks in and pre-fires the staircase. Does just about survive. The next shot's coming up from Mint, but Slash survives it. Pojo Man looking to peek the staircase now 2 up through the trapdoor, and Slash misses those shots, but Pojo gets out alive. Oh, it was close.
Hello! Worth it.
A bomb has been located. The attacker
Checks over his own again, realizes all of his are dead.
Nice hole.
Nice angle. That was what Mint made that right the way down in towards the bar, above the bar drop down in case they didn't drone him, in case they weren't thorough. He could have got in and killed off that thermite trying to breach the trapdoor. As it is, will not happen as the grenades are now racking in down towards this staircase to give Slash a way through. Does beat out the barbed wire and then back up to a little bit of safety.
Smart. They're taking a lot of map control here.
Yeah, and he's still cautious of a flank round behind. The bar and the games room are swarming with Orgless players, and with a minute left on the clock, they haven't really made much progress towards the bomb site, but need to start thinking about it soon. Hot and Cold is looking to be that late rotator round. King George is holding the C4, prepped for the back alley, which is where Avian on Blackbeard is sitting. He's looking through a very tight angle, looking to get towards it, and he's got the right idea. He does look towards the right spot, but King George is not going to stand up. Wait for the shout from his team. He's going to wait for the call out on the camera and go for the throw. Pojo Man takes out Snake, and it's a good start for the defense now. They're finally on the board. Easy peasy.
Wow.
Actually, straight up kills Blackbeard. Avian down. King George dances his way through connector as Hot and Cold does manage to successfully flank up behind. Takes down Jarvis. Slash now with the diffuser is in that same spot as Blackbeard and did survive the C4. So as Hot and Cold tries to flank around, K9 is ready for him. Goes for the sledge kill, but gets punished as King George picks up to save his teammate. Pojo Man will finally finish off Slash in the back corridor, and first round goes to FlipSid.
Well defended. They were very spread. Like, they gave up a lot of map control, which surprised me that they pulled this off because they gave up map control and then took flanks. Like, they rotated back up around. They basically exploited the weaknesses in that map control from Orgless, as Orgless had control of certain areas, but were busy trying to focus on their push at that point, which gave them the opportunity to sneak around. Having 3 staircases will do that to you, though.
Yeah.
So, it is not uncommon at all, though, to see Orgless start off losing. We just saw it on the last map. We've seen it quite often in the past, and then them just come back. They adapt, right? They find out the weakness and what they're doing, and then they change it up. They don't have to work as hard this time to do so because they've already got in for sure with their points. They've done well, but I imagine they may make a bit of a comeback here.
So, down into Kitchen Trophy go the Orgless defense. Bringing a Mute to the table, who is running C4 again, and still C4 on Slash. We saw Sisu do this earlier on today with a lot of through-the-floor play, defending that top floor, defending the master bedroom, defending the bathroom. They were C4ing anyone as they jumped in, C4ing Unctus as they jumped in every window, as they came in every door. They got used to the pass they took, they used to the drones they did, and timed them to perfection, blowing up each C4 on target, taking down very important kills. Now, there is still the possibility of a similar play here from Orgless. We'll see whether or not they've got the FlipSid guys as well figured out as Sisu figured out Unctus. But the thing to note is the Unctus survived the first few rounds. It took a couple for Sisu to get their timing down.
And the nice thing about that is usually it's a bad thing to lose the top floor. But using the top floor against them, shooting them back up through the floor, I think is great because it shows that anything can be countered in terms of like an advantage if you know what you're doing. If you're planning for it, you're predicting what the enemy's doing, you can take advantage of their advantages by just their predictability.
Yeah. So, King George cracks open the whole doorway from his spawn and then makes his way up towards it. Mint watching the office peek. Hot and Cold was doing the same spot and now switches up to go onto his drone and drone in for King George. Easy peasy opens up this B window and just punishes anyone that might have been sitting behind the bomb site. There isn't anyone, but now he knows and will spray up through the floor instead.
Interesting angle there. Not even going into the garage to expose himself as much. Easy peasy, though, not getting him, but King George gets Jarvis. That's going to hurt. And that's their Mute, though. He's a little more disposable once he's got his jammers down.
Yeah, but he didn't have the C4, and that goes one jammer. Fighting in that corner. Slash, meanwhile, has taken half his health in damage too. More than half his health as he's now down in the basement and been droned himself. Trying to hide in slightly more unpredictable positions and be that thorn in the side of the attacking team. Avian, a little bit cautious, moving around here inside dining room as the hole above him is being opened by King George. Sees the man's head, misses the feet, misses the head,
close.
Readjusts and dies for it. Slash comes up, does get a kill onto Mint. Easy peasy now drops in right behind Ash, who was also low thanks to Slash's peaks, but not dead.
Slash gave away his position there, though.
Yeah, they gave it away, and there we go. He gets down from the stairs right above his head. Pojo Man with that kill. King George also grabbed a kill onto Slash at the same time, onto Snake rather, and down inside the site. K9 holding firm towards dining room, does get droned out there, doesn't seem to phase him. Another one's going to come across and doubly confirm his position. Does shoot down onto that one before changing around.
Yeah, I think he decided, all right, I've had enough of being droned there.
Yeah, just waiting for that first very quick push in behind it, waiting for the next man to follow that first drone through, and it wasn't there. So he's rethink. Wall reopens it on up. Sees 3 people, gets the first man, that's the diffuser, gets the second man. That's Buck gone. It's not got a lot of health. The diffuser is now down. Pojo Man's behind the dining room table. King George is going to come down and join him. Has to pick up the diffuser and get inside the kitchen. This FlipSid attack has just got a little bit slower and a little bit more cautious, but they've got the time here. King George is going to drone. Pojo Man's going to reload. He's going to check into that freshly made hole. K9 does miss the drone. He's thinking about coming around the corner. Looks around his head, and Pojo Man will take it off. Didn't have the health to survive that, but it was a valiant attempt as FlipSid go 2-0 up.
I feel like that's something I've seen a lot is you kill everyone else, and then there's just that rook that's a thorn in your side in that trophy room. And it always surprises me that when it comes down to that, and you see, that's not the first time I've seen a rook get a lot of good kills like that because of the different angles. You just rarely see anyone pushing the window to counter that. And that's a situation where they could have rotated around and do that. Pojo Man playing Tachanka wouldn't have surprised me. Just because Pojo Man is actually a good Tachanka. Like that, I don't, like, you know, it can be considered a troll play,
what
but
does it take to be a good Tachanka?
getting actual kills with him. Like, actually getting kills, not just being a victim, I think is a... I mean, we've seen it. Like, we even saw, I believe it was during the Brazilian match we did on Skull Rain. Like, he actually got kills with the Tachanka, but half of them were off the turret, which is interesting. He's just good with the gun, I guess. But he decides, you know, never mind, no troll play. I'm going to play Pulse. So, they are bringing a fuse on the attack side, which is unusual, but not unexpected, as we have seen that used quite a few times from Orgless. It's a good strategy in getting people out of position and using it. You can also use it to help kind of get rid of some barbed wire, to just get in some damage on the floor and things like that. Just mess them up and, like, preface an attack. But you do have to have kind of a follow-up for it, or it's kind of a waste.
So this is something we saw from Junktis earlier today. Use. Now, Six Cutler tried to use it. He went upstairs, we'll show you, and let's go all the way up. He went up here into the master bedroom, and he put his charge right in the middle of the floor, and it all blew up on top of this kitchen counter, so it didn't really do any damage. But, let's see if K9 has a better idea as he is running around from the outside of the main lobby at the moment. Can do a great job of cleaning out the entire kitchen if you get a little bit luckier with the RNG.
Yeah, you definitely do need to really know where to place it, or it's kind of a waste. He only gets 2. In a situation where it's like, yeah, it throws down 6, but there's ADSs in there. You have to worry about how things bounce. You got to know it, you got to practice it, and have some idea where to place it, and it can be a little finicky. It's not the necessarily the most reliable attack.
I think a nice angle here up from the balcony in towards the B bomb site, in towards that trophy room, and comes back to the window to look what's waiting for him up here as the drone has spotted and fed the position of Hot and Cold to him. But Hot and Cold not going to go aggressively towards that angle, not looking towards that way, is heading down towards the fireplace instead. Still got to be cautious of what's on here, and well, Jarvis is dead, so K9 is now off onto this edge. Pojo Man C4s Jarvis through the floor for that kill. Just as we were sort of predicting last round, but let's see it until now.
I'm not surprised Slash got Hot and Cold there. He almost saw him earlier when he was near the window, but finally finds him.
Slash pushed on in, takes him out from inside the library, and continues to push safely. Still want to keep an eye on K9, seeing where he's going to use these fuse charges. He does take out the camera in fireplace, and then head in towards the office. He's got full control of this top floor now. The drones have all cleared out everywhere. The drones know what's coming. Snake has now gone to join it. He's thinking about where should he make holes. Where do I want to shoot down? Now he's decided on it. It's actually very close to Rook's head already. As now K9 comes on in to put another charge through. Down below then, charge goes off.
I like that. Use the flashbang to help cover up the sound of the fuse charge being planted.
Also blows up all on top of that table.
Yeah,
that's one of the other reasons he doesn't get
worked.
used. It's just not reliable. Flashbangs in again, ducks it around, uses it to try and cover this charge again. Next one goes off.
That is the biggest weakness, of course, in the fuse charge is the sound.
It gets a deployable shield, boys. Oh, yes.
Yep. Well,
Easy peasy lemon squeezy, though, taken down by Snake through the floor. Straight after the charge. He thought he was safe to move. He thought he was safe to reposition thanks to that charge being used up, but in doing so, he exposed himself and goes straight down. They don't appear to have realized that he went down, though, because they haven't come to trade him back and finish him. Or maybe they were just baiting it. Snake takes more damage up through the floor as King George finishes off Slash, but then he gets taken down himself as Snake will immediately jump down to trade him. Easy peasy has now been revived, but he's directly under the hole again, and Snake just puts him straight back down again. Pojo Man still inside the site. Mint was about to say it's flanking. He gets onto K9. Down goes Pojo, and Avian's the last man standing. Walks into the kitchen. FlipSid with that extra shotgun on Pulse. Get themselves 3-0.
Pojo Man made the right choice not going with Tachanka that round. Well played. I thought they had a really good attack there. They were just tearing it up through the floor and then coming down and getting shots on him, but Pojo Man saved the day with his shotgun play. Doesn't help though when Avian just runs straight into the kitchen as Blackbeard. Not the best way to defend yourself. Back down to the wine cellar. So far, FlipSid doing quite well. 0-3. FlipSid taking it. Now they've got to attack the basement. I have a feeling like this could go in their favor, but Orgless, as I said earlier, been known to adapt late
Attackers need to locate
and then just make a huge streak come back.
Yeah, we've seen them come back from rounds worse than this, situations worse than this. Let's see if they can pull it off again. That out and into that basement defense, into the snowmobile wine cellar.
I like the setup in terms of when you bring a mute and a bandit. I think you get so much more coverage and denial of them coming in there. I'm definitely a big fan of that setup.
Well, still the last few things done. We talked about how the impact need towards that back bookcase to begin with. Not there yet. Avian's done the drop down in bar and inside dining room. They're not, inside fireplace. They're not going to do the one in dining room. See if that comes back to hurt them later or not. Slash currently just throwing out cameras inside the back end.
I'm a fan of that.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser. Attackers are heading out to defuse.
Doesn't have the shotgun to destroy the trapdoors inside that little lobby area or inside trophy room to have that rotate, but is now pinned back inside here thanks to the fireplace door being shot right open. I don't think Mint saw him, no, did. Hot and Cold though danced across the gap and both of them missed their shots. Snake already taking quite a lot of damage from that trophy room window. He's just trying to open up the trapdoors and he's being punished and locked in here as Pojo Man's already outside the window. Ducks away, takes more damage. Oh, actually doesn't that time, but he was spotted a little bit. Sprints in towards the kitchen, gets in here safely, but is being hemmed in on all sides now by FlipSid. But he's got Slash up here with him. They might be able to fight this off in a 2v2. Hot and Cold's drone came in and did spot him tucked in this bush. Whether or not he realizes he was seen or not, we don't know. Also, at the same time, Avian has come up behind to try and give him some cover. They are looking to make this work. King George is up there slow, and the drone will spot Hot and Cold up here. He's trying to vault over that edge, but can't.
Feels
Tucks
bad.
further in, he's realizing he's a bit panicky now. Comes downstairs, there's no one in the front edge, and he does make his way back into safety of the basement. Snake, however, still pinned inside dining. He's got that trapdoor open to help himself through. Slash dodges that grenade as it comes very close to hitting him. Next one comes in, he uses it to push aggressively out, and he doesn't manage to ninja past it. Hot and Cold heard his footsteps though and pushes deeper back to safety. Slash now comes on in. There's the drop from King George, and Slash looks for the drones. That's the wrong idea. Snake will drop into the basement to keep himself safe, but with a minute and a half gone, have wasted a fair bit of time. Let's see if it's enough.
It's looking strong for the attackers here, though. 5 up against 4.
Easy lemon squeezy, peeking in through this tight angle now towards that possible corner. Nobody in there, but he doesn't know that yet. Holding that cheeky angle. Pojo Man coming on down. Keep an eye on the door as well, give him that cover of having the Blackbeard shield. They've already opened the hole into Mini. That was Ash doing that from above, and while the diffuser is on Hot and Cold, he can drop straight in there if he's ready. We need to clean out the rest of the area first though, so we can drop in without being instantly shot. We've got a minute. There goes King George on Ash, drops straight down, prones and has a look towards the other side. Sees Jarvis, downs him before he can blow up that C4, and it's a good kill. Stood on the other side, also gets down by Pojo Man. The push forward is going to come from Snake, and he gets right behind King George, takes the knife, and that's easy. Avian's now 1v5. He knows there's at least one in that little cellar. Knows there's one that's on the planter, but he's now backed away and moved. Pojo Man in the far corridor does take a shot to a shoe to the shield. Shots coming everywhere, lots of back and forth. King George gets an extra kill with the team, and Gene eventually fills off Avian.
That puts them on match point 4-0. Surprising.
That way. That's Pro League callouts, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. Got him.
Got him, boys.
Well played by FlipSid. Definitely seen some good plays. Seen a few mistakes,
those rumors
though.
very nicely too.
Yeah.
Didn't go over the top of them, didn't expose themselves to those counter, like Avian coming up those stairs to take out anyone that was pushing in onto Slash. Didn't expose themselves to those easy trade kills. They just kept their cool, kept those guys penned in, and made sure they were in the perfect position to clean them up.
Yeah, it was definitely well played by FlipSid. There was a couple of times when Orgless seemed to kind of not be paying attention at the right moment, when Ash came in and things like that. That I think really cost them just not being on top of knowing where everyone's at, what they're doing. I think was their biggest weakness right there, just lack of good intelligence. So they were caught out of position a lot.
So time for FlipSid to defend the basement again themselves. They've done it once before, but it's opened back up to them. Can they do it to seal it? With 5-0 victory if they can. Nice consolation prize ultimately, and a point each for either team.
And then they are on defense though, so this could go well for them. They could get that final 5 point.
Something that they haven't done yet to reinforce this big panel now. We did We did see it left open earlier on in Europe today to play aggressively. Lots of kill holes and lots of peak holes, and it did really work out in that situation.
Yeah, it's pretty risky though. But then again, you're not often going to be standing where easy peasy lemon squeezy is. But I like the
Upstairs,
shield on the
very
table.
aggressive play from FlipSid, hot and cold, right out inside the game room, looking for a chance to get in or up onto this cabinet and hide in the corner. It's not going to work though, so he'll hide behind this couch instead. Mint was covering him while he needed it, but now leaves.
I guess they at 4 points up, they can feel free to be a little aggressive.
Yeah.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Positions and moves away. Pojoman's still upstairs. You can hear him cracking open every trapdoor he comes across, gives himself an escape, gives himself a full rotate hole back down. But currently doesn't need it. He hasn't been droned out. He's not aware. On cold still, just hiding behind the couch, getting ready for Halloween and scary movies.
Yeah, you're not going to expect him there, and when he comes out and yells boo, it's going to be scary. The shotgun, though, not the best range weapon, so he's going to have to try and surprise someone up here. Especially that particular shotgun.
Yeah. Just waiting now then.
Interesting.
Being so spread out is confusing Orgless a little bit and letting them use their Blackbeard. King George with a very aggressive peek straight out front. Does take Avian down as he was mid-shooting that camera. Timed it very, very well. Now Jarvis, though, is in the back corridor looking down towards this rear end. Slash, droning the library stairs, is going to give info to Snake, who is pushing upstairs to the library itself. He's about to walk straight into Pojoman's shotgun if he's not careful. Hot and Cold has killed off Slash elsewhere. Snake now unsure. There he does see him right the second. The drone killed off, and Snake pushes down and looks for it. Does get the kill as he is exposed on that staircase. Not a whole lot he can do about that. Now, as King George comes up the stairs, Mint's there to wait him. No King George involved in that. Mint comes up the stairs. Jarvis is there to wait him. K9 is now the last man standing. Snake said he's done. He's called that 5-0 then.
Yeah.
FlipSid, it's 1v5. K9 does have to kill them all. FlipSid are hunting him. They're looking for it. You see Hot and Cold running around like a madman right now. We had an enemy detected outside already at one point. There goes another one. It's Mint sprinting around outside the front games room. Running around trying to figure it out. Hot and Cold on the top of the staircase. He's ready for it. K9 didn't have his gun up. There it is. FlipSid 5-0 over Orgless GG on that second map. Taking 1 point apiece for this final game of the season.
Well played by FlipSid. Some great plays. I liked the teamwork for a lot of them. Like, they were definitely working together, and you saw that. I feel like you saw better working together than some of the time you saw on the on Clubhouse.
Avian and Jarvis. Donuts for Dardy, he says, just before he leaves. Shout out to our old Season 1 Milspec players.